Hey there, Gary. How's it going, man?
Great, Matthew. You're in
I,
the land of darkness.
you know what? I decided that I have such a beautiful face. It should be the only thing anybody sees on my side of this recording. Um,
Yeah, you're doing talking head real well, man. Except
the
for when you
fair-
move a little bit, then Pac-Man goes by.
oh yeah, that's right back here,
Yeah.
back there. Um, anyway, thank you for doing this with me. You had called me the other day. You'd asked a question about you were feeling a little bit of like, do people really know what it is that I do? And I think that's a great question because that leans into, I mean, you're a Wizard of Bad partner. First off, everybody, this is Gary Bernier. He has turned out to be one of my closest friends within the Wizard of Bad group. Him and I see things very similarly. We bounce a lot of ideas off of each other, um, but just like other, you know, business owners, other consultants, other, anybody, we have a hard time when it's, are we saying the right thing to our clients? Are we projecting what it is that we do so it's easy for them to do business with us? And so since that's the advice that we give outwards, Gary asked the question. I said, Gary, can I interview you? Now we're here. So thank you for agreeing to do this.
Right. No problem, Matthew. It really was a inside the bottle moment going, what are people seeing on the outside of the bottle? Because I don't think it's either I haven't even written a label
Right.
or I haven't put the label in front of them, but there's some disconnect with perception.
Right. Exactly.
That I'm trying to get a lock on.
So what I thought I would do is what we typically do, which is ask a lot of questions so that the client gives us the details that we can then help them formulate and see what it is that they do. And if they're projecting that forward, then great, everything's going well. If we can get an aha moment out of this interview and you say, I'm going to lean into that, then that's what this is all about. So first is, why don't you just explain to me, what it is that you think you do?
What it is I think I do. Always a tough question.
Sure it is. Let's start with you're a Wizard of Ad partner, which means you're in the
Yes.
marketing industry,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a
right?
Wizard
So,
Ads partner, do the marketing. Because of my background in technology, I've kind of taken on what most people call the digital marketing role, which is the website, the digital advertising, Facebook ads, pay-per-click ads, that sort of stuff.
right.
Right, which brings in topics like SEO and all the other stuff that a lot of digital people are saying. So that's kind of the role that I take. So when you ask me that question of what is it I do, it's I manage the client's digital presence.
Right. But that's
Right,
a
like
big,
yeah. It's a short sentence, but it's a big thing in
yeah.
terms of basically I'm putting their label out to the world in a digital way.
Okay. Okay. So then when you have reach out, when you're leaning into the fact that you're a digital wizard, sorry, letting a cat out of the bag. It's a tag that Gary's now running under. But when you lean out to the world telling you that you're a digital marketer, and they are either currently with another digital marketer, doing their SEO, website, back end stuff, or not, what's the reach out look like?
That's a great question. A lot of times I'm brought in by somebody like yourself, another partner that knows that what's currently going on with their digital isn't helping them, and the customers become frustrated with some part of their digital. So there's a chink in the armor because the previous provider may have stopped communicating, is very typical, hasn't established value in a long time. So there's several. And so the customer and then my Wizard of Ads partners go, hey, you might want to talk to Gary. Right.
Okay. Okay. So now you've got the client on the hook as far as there's a conversation happening. There's now this eye to eye. They know you, you know them. You're having a conversation. What are some of the questions that you would ask your clients? your prospective clients to so that you can get to the nitty gritty of what their digital problem is?
A lot of times I want to find out what their expectations are. And unfortunately, there's a lot of garbage that's being sold and promoted in the digital marketing space. And so I have to combat a bunch of that
Okay.
to get down to the reality of what's actually going to work for them and, what's actually going to move the needle
Right.
for their business. Because we're all about good. As you know, everything we do is about doing something that'll grow the revenue because we share in that, right? So there's no sense us doing something just to put money in our pocket. It's whatever we do has got to be effective.
Okay. So this is the first time where now I get to hear you say something counterintuitive to the market, right? So this is where you're saying that typically what you're coming in, you're aligned financially with the client. So as they grow, you get a bump. So your higher goal is to make sure that their revenue, their bottom line, their top line revenue
Yes.
flies. The typical digital agency how do they get paid?
They usually charge a monthly administration fee. Could be a flat fee. So just some money for doing work.
Okay.
And then depending upon their relationship with an advertising vendor, they may get a percentage kickback from Google or somebody else if they're, depending upon their status with the various digital company that they're promoting the stuff to or the tools they're using.
Okay. And if they're successful next year, they just stay the course. Like it's just kind of the same old same.
Pretty much for them, account retention is just, keep billing the same amount of money or try and figure out how to get the client to spend a little bit more money
Okay,
on
and
digital.
things don't work out, then it's still same old same.
Yeah. Yeah. The digital companies try to justify their existence by saying, here's how many clicks I got you, or here's how many people visited your website, or I got them this far of the way through the process.
Right.
And they go, look, I did my job. And in some cases, they did do their job. They did the thing they were hired to do. But there's a break in the chain, and that doesn't really help the business that paid that digital company because people showed up at the front door, if the door doesn't swing open, then it doesn't do anything for the business. So,
Right.
So they're just, unfortunately, a lot of digital people have the wrong goal for the business because it's not actually tied deep enough into the business. It's too far at the front end, too far at the marketing. And it's like, hey, we can measure how many clicks or this or that. And it's like, yeah, okay. Are they convertible clicks or are they just clicks? Right.
Right. Okay.
So that's there's an indication of a conversation that I sometimes have to have with people is, okay, do you want just traffic or do you want convertible traffic? And every business owner goes, I want convertible traffic. And if you say, well, do you know what kind of traffic you're getting today? They go, no.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay. No. If you want to add to that.
But yeah, unfortunately, the business owner, in a lot of cases, they don't have the time or the energy to understand digital, nor should they have to understand digital. But by not understanding digital, they can't tell whether something's good, bad, or side otherwise. So they don't know. And fortunately, my client, the business owner, is not educated in what I do, and to them, it's all Greek, to use that expression, or it all sounds the same. It's the Charlie Brown whether I'm saying it or the other digital person saying it. So they have a really hard time figuring out what the right thing to do is in the digital space.
Right. Okay. So then I mean, I have some inside baseball on this because I do have some knowledge about how you do things, but I'd like you to explain it so that it gets into your head. So
Sure.
this is you explaining it to yourself as well as to anybody watching, right? So then what should a customer be focusing on in their digital marketing that with a traditional, digital SEO cost per click company that they're focusing on differently? Like, what is it that they should be doing that they're not doing that you do look at?
That's a great question. I'm focused on the top of the funnel. I consider marketing's job to start the conversation. So that may mean making the phone ring, making the chat on the website used. That may mean filling out the form on the website. So some sort of contact with the business. That's what I want to see increasing.
Right.
I can't, as the marketer, I can't control what the business does with that contact. But that's the thing I want to increase. I want to increase the number of conversations, the number of opportunities that the business is running into to do what they do. So that's the most critical stats for me that I look at is that number going up. The number of clicks coming to the website doesn't mean anything if the number of phone calls is not going up.
Oh, I see. So so you collect that data from your clients. You ask for phone data. You ask for.
Yeah, out of that, the big one is phone data, because it's usually easy for them to get and for them to feedback to us. So we track that monthly. We trend that to see whether the phone calls are growing. Sometimes it's easy to get the chat data, or if there's web form, it's easy to get that stuff. But it's the human behavior today. Most people are still calling, right? They're yes, you need the digital reach outs because that provides for the people that want to use them, that provides a mechanism for doing that. As you know, we recently got one of our clients to put the online scheduling button on their website.
Yes.
And that's helped them out tremendously in that business because
Right.
they were missing out on the after hours opportunities. So yeah, those are the moments that I'm looking at, Matthew, is are we getting more, and we're in marketing, are we getting more of the top of the funnel moments? Are we getting more of the sales conversations?
Right.
That's the key. Your marketing, the reason you spend money on marketing is to get more sales conversations.
Right. So, okay. So again, I'm gonna be a little bit tough on you here. So, but what's the difference then from what they're currently getting from from a standard SEO company or standard digital marketing company? Like,
Okay.
how,
Perfect.
do you know
Great.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Great question. There are people doing very mechanical SEO work. And what that means by mechanical is they're putting things in all the right places so that Google goes, oh, you want to rank for that keyword. In a lot of cases, that makes pages unreadable. Plumbing company in Corpus Christi plumbing company open on Sunday near me. Like when you're putting
yeah,
that
right,
expression 5 times on the page, it makes the page unreadable. Does it make
right,
Google happy? Yes, it makes Google happy. Does it bring traffic? It may bring traffic. If it brings traffic, is it the traffic you want? So the way content plays work, or SEO, which is SEO and content plays the same thing. You put content on your website because you need to feed the beast, which is
yeah,
Google.
yeah,
And if you have a great article, and I'm going to use one of our HVAC companies, if you have a great article on your website that's like, is one air conditioner good enough, or do I need 2 if I have 2 floors in my house? Right?
right,
What's better, 1 or 2? Well, anybody in North America can read that article. So you can get a lot of traffic, and the SEO person's done their job. There's a lot of traffic to that page.
right. Oh, okay, this is good.
How many people are from Corpus Christi, where that business is located, that are then going to take that next step and make the phone call? So
Right,
just because you're ranking in Google, just because you're getting traffic, doesn't mean it's convertible traffic. So
right.
SEO's
Okay.
job is to get you traffic. The whole idea behind a content play originally, and I've been doing this way too long, the whole idea behind the origin of the content play is to sell advertising. Because what I want you to do is come to my site, spend a lot of time on my site, and therefore I can show you a lot of advertising, and I'm going to get paid because eventually you might click on an advertisement, but I'm at least going to get paid for the impression of the advertisement.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So traditionally a newspaper site, a TV site, anything like that, that generates content every day just because attracts a lot of eyeballs, and what you're trying to do is sell advertising. So the whole reason content play happened in the first place was to sell advertising. Then somebody went, oh, if we put a lot of content into the world, we rank really well because we have a big database of content. Yep. And so then small businesses started doing that, and then it became local SEO. And so now you've got 5 plumbers in whatever town near me going, plumber near me is their keyword, and everybody's fighting over the same thing. So over time, effectiveness of trying to rank for the things people are typing in goes down as well because of everybody else is executing the exact same tactic.
Okay, so that was awesome because that was a great explanation of getting leads to the website, but them not being necessarily convertible leads to the website. So your SEO play is good, but you're not actually affecting the business at all. You're just affecting the way the business looks.
So what I said in the beginning, the SEO person did their job, right? They actually did their job. They got traffic to the website. It was never going to do anything for the business.
Okay. Hey, so now this makes me think for you. And so this is where my head turns a little bit. So then if you really want clients to understand what it is you do for them, is you can help them ask the right questions of the digital marketing company, specifically you, because other digital companies aren't going to want to change the way they do work, because right now it's pretty automated. It's pretty like standard tick, 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 tick. I do these 5 things in this 1 hour. I don't work again for a month for that client.
Yep.
Where from what I know and from what I remember of working with you is you're helping the client to see that they need to have branded content all the way through their strategy so that people who get to them want them. They're not searching for random anything. They want them. And so you call that channel alignment, right? Yep. Keeping the first message right through to the website into the sales message, and you help them all the way through that.
Yeah. So now we're getting closer to what do I actually do?
Yeah.
And it's because we work as a team as Wizard of Ads partners. We do a lot of offline advertising, which you mentioned, like radio, television, billboards. And today,
but it could be Facebook.
Oh, well,
it could be a YouTube strategy. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be offline.
No, but let's leave it with the offline for a minute. We do a lot of offline.
Yeah.
And the offline all drives to a URL, which is the website. And so when you were talking about channel alignment, we help build a persona for the business. What people refer to as the brand, we like to refer to it as the bond, or you could use the word the persona of the business, the character of the business, the people involved in the business. And so that tone that we set in offline advertising, if that feeling, that emotional bond isn't there when they get to the website, there's a disconnect. And so, yes, I call it alignment, in that if you're fun and whimsical in your radio spot, then your website better be fun and whimsical and match that in tone.
Right.
Right.
Because if that's why they decided to take action, or they want to still have that.
Even just to find out a little bit more about you because there was something interesting in your advertising. Let me find out a little bit more.
Right.
The more that story continues, and it's kind of like if the offline advertising is chapter 1, website's chapter 2, and the story's got to continue, and it's got to blend together, right?
Right.
It's got to pick up where the last chapter left off and take you through to the next. And if chapter 3 is the sales conversation, then same thing, right? This is why we want people to answer the phone in a particular way or say things on the phone in a particular way, because now everything just seems to move through, and then they're dealing with one cohesive organization. When I take over an account that's had other digital people in, again, they're trying to do their job. They're not trying to do anything wrong. They're trying to do their job, but they have no concept of what that overall feeling is supposed to be. So instead of chapter 2 being integrated from chapter 1 to chapter 3, it's often a disconnect. It doesn't have that alignment. It doesn't have that same feeling And that's the customers start to figure that out. It's like, wait a minute, we're saying this over here, and it gives this impression. And then they come to my website. My website's given a different impression, and it needs to feel the same in order to be
Okay.
successful.
Okay. So then the other thing that I think you do a really good job at, and you need to do it, even though your portion of the whole thing still lives in that digital space, and making sure that all aligns from super top of funnel into the website out to the sales channel, is you understand like nobody's business the customer's journey. So our client's customer's journey. So from the time that they're in thinking of the thing mode to taking action, you're really good at mapping that out for your clients. And that's something I've never heard another SEO company or digital company do for a client.
No, again, they're focused on doing the thing they do, on bringing the tactic or the service to that business.
So they're right.
They're,
So they're focused on the actions and the behaviors, not the strategy.
correct. Yeah. Yeah. As you know, I can't help myself. It's how I'm wired. It's how I've ended up being built after all these years is, yeah, I look at what we're doing in terms of our messaging. I then look at the website. I put myself in the mind of the customer visiting that website. And, you and I have had this chuckle. You can look at any HVAC, which is actually air conditioning business. No, some people refer to it as the industry refers to it as HVAC. The customer refers to it as air conditioning.
That's right.
The customer says, my air conditioning's broken. I need it fixed. The industry says, would you like it fixed? Would you like it replaced? Or would you like it maintained? And the customer goes, I don't know. It's broke. When can you come and
Right.
take a look
Exactly.
and tell me how badly it's broke?
Exactly.
So industries develop a type of language, and sometimes it's customer language and sometimes it's not customer language. And the true key is to speak our phrase in the Wizard of Ads is speak to the dog in the language of the dog.
Not saying clients or customers are dogs.
No.
We're just saying
No, it's based upon Pavlov and making the dog salivate. So,
exactly.
Mick would say we're putting liver paste on your website there. Yeah.
Yeah. Mick Turbay, another Wizard of Ads writer. He does a lot of ad writing for us.
But the key is you want to entice and pull the prospect through and speak to them in their language. And like I said,
Right.
There's a lot of natural disconnects when somebody doesn't put things in customer facing language. The customer gets confused, and a confused customer doesn't move forward.
Right. Okay. So now when we go back to the original question when you asked me the other day, which was, Matthew, I don't feel that I'm explaining what I do well enough, early enough, so that people truly understand exactly what I do.
Hey, Matthew, I'm going to say it like a client. What I do is complicated. They don't understand it. Can you please help me simplify it so they can understand what I do?
Right, exactly. So this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you say that you have found a way to turn digital marketing on its ear because you don't look at it from a task-oriented job. You look at it as a strategic job to help actually raise the top line revenue for your clients. Yep. I mean, that's the first one. That's easy, right? It's you flipped it on its ear so that you can actually affect top line revenue.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, and this is, where my blind spot comes from. I don't actually look at it as flipping it on its ear, because to me, this is just the way it's always supposed to have been done. And a whole bunch of people have gotten involved and screwed this up really badly.
Well, 100%.
Right.
Well, I mean,
like in the 35 years I've been doing websites, this concept has not changed.
Well, listen, think about that from one of our clients' perspectives, right? That we have clients who came into their industry from somewhere else because they didn't like the way that things were being done. The only way they could do it is different. They don't see it as different. And when we show them, they're like, yeah, but that's not different. No, take a look at the 4,500 other people that are doing your
Right.
thing all differently than you. And that's what everybody else knows. That's what all your potential customers know. So if you don't tell them it's different, they're not going to know it's different.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the challenge I have for you. So to make it simple is I do digital marketing differently because half or more of what you're getting from another company is useless now. The digital side has changed so much over the last long while. Doing it the same is not going to affect your business.
Yeah. The big one, and I wish we had gotten this earlier in the recording if somebody's actually watching this, is 18 months ago, digital advertising was different. It's getting close to 2 years, but 18 to 24 months ago, digital advertising changed. And I haven't met a client yet that has been made aware of this change. Like there hasn't been a single client say, well, I don't think I should have to pay you now because AI is doing all the work. I just haven't had that
Right.
happen yet. I'm
Right.
dying for the moment that happens because that means, somehow the client got informed that
Right. Yeah.
now as the ad people, yes, we put the headlines in, we put the text in, we put the photos, we put the video into the system, but the AI builds the ads. We have very little control over how the ad is assembled in the various platforms. So
Right.
it's Facebook, you put in the 5 or 6 components, and then depending upon where Facebook decides to put your ad off to the side, over here, over there, it grabs the pieces it needs and builds the ad that way. So your ad looks different depending upon where it shows up. And Google's doing the same thing. There is no more, I work really hard. I have this ad and I compare it with this ad to see which one's working better and all the rest of that sort of stuff. It's just load the stuff in and sit back and see how successful Google could make that,
Okay.
or Facebook.
Right. Okay.
It's dramatically changed from where it was prior.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that other SEO companies are now taking advantage of the fact that nobody knows this and they're just riding coattails?
Oh,
Or do you think they're misinformed
oh
and
no,
they're
no, no,
still
no,
trying to
no,
do
no. They're totally, again, hey, let's face it, set it and forget it's a wonderful thing,
it? Sure it is.
right? Load all the stuff into the system, turn it on, sit back and watch, is a wonderful thing. This is why I said at the beginning, I shouldn't have to pay you to do this because it's gotten so
Right.
simple, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yes, a lot of businesses are overpaying for their digital advertising agency today, and the agencies are taking total advantage of the AI today. And no, they don't want to tell the customer about it because if the customer truly understood, it'd be like, well, why am I paying you $2,000 a month, or why am I paying you $3,000 a month to place
Right.
ads when Google's doing all the work for you?
Right. Okay. So another thing that is very simple to explain to a client in very short terms so that there's no confusion is you stand against bullshit to your clients. But this is what it is, right? Like we know, I mean, listen,
Yeah,
we throw a term around called
yeah,
digital weasels. We use that word because these guys they're holding people's data hostage. There's all like, and I don't even want to get into that side of your business because that's not truly your differentiator. Your
no, but
differentiator is you're
you're
not willing
no,
to
but
just say what the customer wants to hear.
well, no, you're getting down to the crux of the matter, right there. And we started with this: customer believes they need SEO, or that SEO might help them. Customer believes this, and unfortunately, their beliefs are, I'm not going to say false. They are false, but really they're outdated. The correct terminology would be they're outdated. Their beliefs are
That's right.
outdated. They don't. They're just not up to date. Too many, to use your term, or the term the wizards use, digital weasels are still running around saying this stuff works and it's great and it's this and it's that. In fact, I watched an AI advertising chat GPT thing recently at a conference, and they scared half the audience, and the other half of the audience left so confused. They were like, I don't know what I need to do for my business. I'm like, oh, that was really good. That was really helpful. Thanks, guys. Right. And
Yeah.
that was that was the session I was recommended to go to. Gary, you should go see this. It's going to be great. And I'm like, okay, we scared half of them and the other half left more confused than when they walked in. Yeah. And there was nothing they could do today. There was no, I was like, well done, guys. Yeah, that was a great presentation. So,
Okay.
there's lots of stuff going on. Lots of noise, Matthew. So
Yes.
the hard part about calling bullshit is so here's the crux of it. It's easy for me to say that's bullshit. Why should somebody believe me over the person that gave them that belief structure in the first place? Because again, what I'm fighting is a belief structure, false or
Sure.
outdated, false, whatever.
Okay, but the belief structure but I'll argue this because the belief structure is not from the client side. The belief structure is from the digital marketer side. And so, and they're the ones spouting it. But here's where I think you win. And we've been working on this for a while. Like, here's the other thing too. You came to me and you asked me this question. And for the last 2 or 3 years, we've been really trying to figure out what is the messaging that's going to help people understand if they work with you versus working with another digital agency, what the difference is. And here's kind of now from this conversation, what I get is your clients. I guarantee the clients that come on and the best clients you have are the ones that said, I have no idea how SEO works. Like they've tried to tell me, I don't know what I'm paying for. I know I need it. Everybody's telling me that this is the guy to go to, but I don't understand it. And the one thing that I know you've been able to do really well with any of the clients that you work on with like my accounts or accounts that we share with other partners is the client says, oh, okay, I now understand my customer journey. I now understand what a convertible lead is or a click is,
Yeah.
right? I now know that's what I hear from it. It's like, okay, and they leave you. Here's the other thing I love is they leave you alone. I've never seen until you did this in front of me. I don't know. I want to say a year ago, 6, 8 months ago, where you said to a client, can we make a deal? Now that you understand all the things that I'm doing, can we just agree that I'm just going to make changes? I'll tell you I've made them and then let me watch it to make sure they've worked. And then I'll change it back or move it to something else or leave it alone because it's now working really well. The trust that you get from your clients after they understand the actual process, because you eliminated all of the fluffy stuff that everybody loves to talk about because it's all about generating clicks versus generating convertible clicks, which is actually what the client wants.
Yeah. My biggest leverageable asset is alignment. I'm aligned with the business owner. And the best part of the story I tell is around that alignment that, yes, what I want to do is I want to feed that top of the funnel better.
Right.
Right. And if if I can get to that point of trust that you're talking about, then yes, I can do my job. As you've seen, the tool we use to demonstrate that, and again, this is something we do all the time now, and I've yet to run into a client that's ever seen one of these, is we use heat maps and recordings.
Yeah.
And for those people that don't know what a heat map or recording is, a heat map shows where people are clicking on your website, how far people scroll down a page. So it gives you information about how your website's being used. The recording is somebody actually using your website, how they clicked, how they navigated, how they read through,
how long they sit in one because they're reading or whatever, right?
So the beauty of those tools is they take the guesswork out of website design. So again, we were talking about chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It allows me to look at my chapter 2 and see whether somebody starts reading for the first paragraph and gets lost on page 3. It allows me to then fix page 3. Right.
Right.
And when you were a client, Matthew, with the roofing company, the one that stuck out was...
That was a secret, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking.
We were making the people go back up to the nav bar to pick the next color.
Yes.
So they were going through these wonderful color descriptions that another partner, Stephen Semple, had written, but they would read one, and then to get to the next one, they'd have to go all the way back up to the top of the page to select the next one. And it was as simple as us adding a color selector at the bottom of the page, and they could just move to the next color. And that made their time on the site higher. It made their navigation simpler. And
Well, I
as a
remember,
result,
I remember some of the
more
data
phone
that we
calls.
did find out about that, what I really liked. And so, and again, guys, I just want you guys to understand this is how powerful the small little things that are looked at to make sure channel alignment happens work. We went from where they would go to one or two colors to where they would run through every color because it was really easy to move to the next thing. Where it was a blind spot in the development of the website, we were able to fix it based on actual usage of the website, which is wicked to watch.
Yeah. And what do you want? More time, people spending more time on the website. Why? Because that should result in more phone calls to the business. And we were able to manage that. And there was more leads. And when the person called, they knew exactly which color they wanted for their house and all the,
Well, the longer
the,
they're on the website, it also adds authority to Google that your site is a site
yep.
people are enjoying. So that helps your overall ranking.
I love that, Matthew. And so that brings into play the concept of quote, quote, the algorithm.
Guys, honestly, I'm going to find it. Gary's written something on the algorithm. I think it's awesome. So I'm going to find where that is and I'll link it somehow.
Well, the algorithm is a beautiful thing. And Google's done a wonderful job in creating the scoring mechanism in the algorithm. I actually agree wholeheartedly with the way Google scores things. The challenge is, again, I'd have to go look because the code got leaked in the last 6 months and somebody's actually gone through it and been able to verify a whole bunch of things that people assumed the algorithm was doing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember how many factors there are in the algorithm. And I'm just, this number's not accurate, but I'm just going to use it because it fits the demonstration. Let's say there's 100 factors in the algorithm.
Okay.
Right. There could be 1,000 factors, but let's say there's 100. I know it's a big number. Which ones move the dial the most? They're not all weighted the same. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So keyword ranking and stuff in the page full of keywords is not weighted as high as having a link from an authoritative source. It's not weighted as high as how much direct traffic you have. It's not weighted as high as how much time did somebody spend on the page, right? So when people talk about SEO, they're really talking about the algorithm and how they can feed the algorithm to produce the best result for the business. And Matthew, the factor that I turn the dial on really hard these days is mobile optimization. Because for the last 7 years, people, Google has said, if you mobile optimize, we'll feed you more traffic because you're providing a better answer for a person using a cell phone. And anybody doing B2C, your customer uses one of these today. B2B, it might be a little bit different, but B2C, they use one of these.
Yeah.
And so if your site isn't mobile optimized, and what that means is it's fast, it's easy to use on mobile, it's efficient on mobile, then Google's not going to rank you as high as somebody that is. And so that's a hack that we employ over and over again, because even though Google's tried really hard, most web developers and most business owners don't realize how important it is.
Right.
And you've seen us do that, and the amount of traffic goes up automatically because Google goes, oh, it's now mobile optimized. I can send more people over there.
That's right.
And if you're doing pay-per-click, if you actually analyzed your pay-per-click, and I'm sure your PPC person hasn't done this for you, is to say 70% of my clicks are coming from mobile users. So if you're paying for a mobile click, you better have a mobile optimized site.
Yeah.
So then you've now made it better for your SEO, better for the person in the pay-per-click world coming to you. You've made it better for the user experience, and the pay-per-click cost goes down because Google again recognizes that optimization. So your click cost goes down, the number of clicks you get goes up, and then the prospect is happier. So you end up with more people starting the top of the funnel exercise, more phone calls or form fill outs. And, it's just crazy how something like that can happen.
Okay. So again, I'm really trying, like, I love talking about this
I
stuff.
know
Like
I
I
went
get
into the
geeked out, so
weed.
I'm
I know
listening
I went into
and
the
we're
weeds there.
but think about everything you just said there, because there's a lot of that explanation, and you have to give some of that, if not all of that explanation over the course of time with a client. But the upfront message to the client, from what I'm understanding, is
Are you going to distill it down so I get my one line on the bottle?
digital has changed. Why haven't you? Like
Ooh, ooh,
it's
that's interesting.
very simple. Digital has changed. Why haven't you? Want to know more? Talk to the digital wizard. No smoke and mirrors.
Oh, I like that. No smoke and mirrors. Yeah, yeah. You're doing your thing.
It's what, but I needed to have
Hey,
this conversation.
yeah,
Needed to hear it, right?
yeah.
And it's funny because as much as we talk about stuff, we never structure it like this. But what do we do with every
I
freaking
know.
client we work with? We structure it like this. We ask a billion questions. We get them to explain their stuff. We listen to all the little minutia stuff, and that's the stuff that actually means something, right?
Yeah,
Um, uh, Ryan Shute, another partner of ours, has done a brilliant job. I mean, I want to give him full out credit. He has tagged the line frictionless. Like, he's distilled what we try to do for our clients down to a word:
yeah,
frictionless. I steal it all the time because I think it's brilliant. I think he did a great job. It's exactly what we try to do. We try to make going from not known to purchase frictionless as it possibly can be. And frictionless means there's there's no confusion along the way. There's no roadblocks or speed bumps. It's, if you need us, click it and get there. And that's what you do.
yeah.
Like
I think
even
he stole that from me, but anyways,
oh,
we
okay.
can debate
Well,
that.
but okay. And I don't, and we'll steal it back. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. But literally, also, like, he's just used it so well.
yeah,
Like, the one place I've seen used it incredibly well is there. But it's literally from unknown to click it and buy it.
yeah,
Right? We drive everybody to the website. Everybody. We as Wizard of Ad partners, all of our messaging, all of it drives to the website. We do no phone numbers. We don't do anything strange. We don't go to social media, everything to the website. So if your website isn't optimized, if your website isn't super easy to use, okay, so if it doesn't load fast and you can't get to your data quickly, you're not better than anybody else. So I really think it's digital marketing has changed. Why haven't you?
yeah. I like that.
Ask me, I'm the digital wizard. No smoke and mirrors, right? Because they would need clarity. All they want is clarity. What the fuck do you do? And I'm willing to give that to you. Ask me anything.
Yeah,
But you're not going to always like my answer. And that's the other thing too, is you don't care about giving somebody the answer they want. You always deliver the answer they need, even if it's upsetting, even if it seems frustrating, even if it's, because if they don't want to hear it, you're never going to get them past it. And that's that ideology where you said you have to change an ideology or change a philosophy. We don't want to change the philosophy. We're going to answer your questions honestly.
yeah. The best customers, as you said it, are the ones that they just want to focus on their business. They want more sales calls, and they don't care what I do to get them there as long as it's ethical, right? And which
Exactly.
it's always going to be with me. But yeah, that's the problem. People are the people that come to me and say, well, do you do this and do you do that and do you do that, thinking that those things are going to move the needle.
Right.
Those are the people that are hard to help versus,
Right.
hey, look, I know I haven't got this alignment. My messaging's here. I kind of feel something's not right. Can you fix it? Yes, I can. Just get it out of the way and I'll take care of it. Right. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the clients that are best suited for us and that come to us properly are the ones that really they've never been able to understand what a digital marketing person does. They know that they're handling their cost per click. They know they're handling their social ads. They know they're
well,
managing a
they know that
website.
they know that something had to be done. So
Mhm.
they've had the website created. They've been doing some things and things are working. The other client that I can help, Matthew, that we haven't talked about is the one that's overspending on digital, that we have to help them make the transition so that they can actually get more value for their marketing dollar.
Okay.
Right. So those, the example would be a lawyer paying $100 a click or more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Where
Yeah.
we're going, dude, you should, like, for that $100, we can talk to 100 listeners on radio. right? And so with us being a team and being aligned with growing the revenue, it's again not about how much we spend on digital, it's about what's best for the client. And so a lot of times my goal is to shrink the digital advertising budget, to put it into something that's going to produce more results for the same amount of money.
That's blasphemy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I guess it is.
You're a digital guy who says, no, let's spend less money on digital if we can. Blasphemy. You're a heathen.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, it's because I know there's, in a lot of cases, a better way of doing things is to make people come looking for you instead of fighting over injury lawyer near me, right?
There's another whole plethora of explanation that goes on that. Okay, so does it make sense then for you to help people understand what it is that you do? There's still more explanation. So me distilling it down to digital's changed, why haven't you? The real goal here is that you want them to ask you more questions so that you can then drive them into the right direction.
Well, that again, that helps me give a framework for any messaging I'm putting out to the world. Is right. That's whether I say those words or whether they're behind everything. Digital's changed, why haven't you?
Right. Because there's a confusion piece here. I know, because I hear it. Like even if I'm working with a client who's not willing to change their digital partner, or they're really happy with their digital provider, I still, when I ask questions, hey, listen, can I get these couple of things? They're like, I don't know what that means, or I don't know what that is. And it's like, man, okay, so this is what I want you to explain, or this. And so I know I go through that frustration for them, trying to help them to see things. When you get in there, it's always so clear, right? And it's dispelling the myth of digital, right?
Yeah.
It's getting past like, it's really trying to see behind the curtains. And getting past the smoke and mirrors, right? Which is why when they ask you questions, you want to be able to tell them, I'm not putting fluff in front of you. It'll almost be a tough conversation, but the best conversation you're ever going to have about digital, and what it actually does for you. Okay. Does that help you?
Hey, Matt, I'm the wizard of digital. I dispel the digital myths. What do? I dispel the digital myths.
That's it.
You did it, man.
Right? You're a wizard who takes away the magic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's wicked messaging right there. Right?
It's, if we went to the Wizard of Oz, it's like,
that's right. It's looking behind. Well, that's why I said no smoke and mirrors. Look behind the curtain, right? Yeah. It's guys, it's not as complicated as you think.
Right.
It just takes somebody who knows what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. Awesome. Thanks, man. This was really fun. I hope it helped. So I see you smiling, and you're a little bit different at the end of this call, which is great.
Well, just like our clients, where the hell is this going to go? What am I going to end up with?
We're at the very end, we get that magic, but it really is important that people understand this is our process. It's the process that we go through with every client. Guys, we don't usually do this in an hour. We usually do this over the course of 2.5 days, over all of our meetings.
We don't work together every day like Matthew and I do.
Yeah, exactly. I have a whole bunch of inside baseball. But I really listen. I appreciate it. I hope this helped you, and whatever extra little pieces, that I'm just a Zoom call away.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
No problem. Thanks everybody for watching. If you got this far, we really appreciate it. And I'll be back with another interview.